Assassin's Creed Mirage have tailing missions? With Assassin's Creed Mirage supposedly being a return to classic Assassin's Creed, that begs the question, will tailing missions make a comeback? Whether you enjoyed the tailing missions or not in the older Assassin's Creed games, they were a staple of the series. From AC2 all the way up to Black Flag, we would always expect to have tailing missions in an Assassin's Creed game before we'd even played it. We knew it was going to be in there. It was one of those build-up missions before you assassinate your key target. Now, with Assassin's Creed Mirage supposedly being a lot like the first Assassin's Creed game in the way of assassinations, in the way of the city, maybe in the way of story, I guess we'll have to find out, I think tailing missions would fit very perfectly, actually, into Assassin's Creed Mirage from what we know. You're playing the game in a big city, the city of Baghdad. From what we've been told and from what we know about actual history, is that Baghdad at this time was a very big but condensed city. It was huge and there was tons of alleyways, small streets that you could slip into, as well as large and sprawling areas. It was a very diverse city. Now, if Assassin's Creed Mirage is going to bring back tailing missions, it has to be done, in my opinion, in a new and enhanced way. Not just a copy and paste of what we saw in the earlier games, but something that we haven't really explored before. Yes, the core element of a tailing mission is there, but it's been expanded upon with new features that is actually engaging. And going back to what I said about Baghdad having small alleyways and large expansive areas, this can add to variety when it comes to tailing a target. I always found in the earlier Assassin's Creed games that did have tailing missions, they were never something I looked forward to. They were always something that when the mission would come around and I'd have to do it, I'd be like, oh, not another tailing. Are you serious, bro? Another tailing mission? For me, it was like that, and I think it's because when I was a lot younger, I'd like mess up these tailing missions a lot and desynchronize and have to do them again. But then as I got older, and I was a lot more competent at playing games, even when they were easy to do, it was just like, oh, I can't be bothered for this, you know? It's just following a target. It's boring. Yeah, of course, if you listen to the information the characters are actually divulging, in most cases, that's not boring because it's adding to story, it's sometimes adding to character development, it's furthering the plot in one way or another. You know, if you actually listen, you will yourself gather intel that will make a lot more sense for things in the future of the story. So I get why it's there. It's there to fill in context for the character, for you, the player, as well as to further the story, and so things make sense in the future of the game, I suppose. That didn't make me enjoy them anymore. But hey, I'm not here to hate on tailing missions. I'm not here to do that at all because I know there's a lot of you that probably did enjoy them. And I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying they could be sometimes tedious, you know, if they were very similar, which a lot of them were. Now, that's what I want to get into with this video. If Mirage is going to bring back tailing, it's got to bring it back in a way that we haven't really explored before. Of course, have the groundworks of tailing still be the same. You follow a target, you gather information, and that will then lead you to be able to assassinate your target in a proficient manner. But perhaps they can add a few new features to this system. Maybe tailing a target in Mirage is now a one and done type thing. If you get caught, you're caught and you can't redo it. So you don't desynchronize and have to redo the mission again. You get caught by the individual who's seen you. Maybe they go, guards, guards. The guards start attacking you, or they just so get away from me and they shut up and they don't give any more information. But perhaps you were tailing them for a good 10, 15 seconds, which in that time they did divulge a certain amount of information. So you can then gather what you did learn and then take that to the Assassin Bureau or Alamut Castle, to whoever, and then you will still be able to assassinate your target in a more proficient manner because you learned this information, but it wouldn't be as proficient as if you were to tail the target for maybe a minute and you would gain all the information needed, and then you'd have all these different opportunities presented to you when it comes to the black box missions of assassinations. See, that right there adds so much more to a tailing mission. It's not just a boring thing that if you stay on the rooftops and listen down, you can just do it in a minute. It actually makes you think. It makes you listen properly to what you want to hear, to what you need to hear. But it also makes you properly start to be sneaky, to go certain ways, to not lose sight of them. Because maybe if you lose too much distance, you actually gather less intel because you genuinely can't hear them. Basim can't actually hear them. Maybe you need to stay close, you need to stay in the shadows. And it adds more of a challenge to the tailing mission. This to me sounds a lot more fun than just the cut and dry tailing tailing missions that they had in the Ezio games, AC3, in AC Black Flag. Some may say that's too hard, and it would also be very boring and not fun because of how just annoying it is, because you're always getting caught. So there's that level of balance, I suppose, if the developers were to implement this, how they would do it. Maybe you don't have to follow them for too long until you get all the intel, but it is very easy to get caught. So it's not too hard to complete the tailing mission because of the length at which it is. Maybe it's a 20-second thing rather than a minutes thing. But as I said, it's easier to get caught than what it was in the older games, so you have that level of alertness. You're being inconspicuous, you're blending with crowds, you're sitting on benches, you're only climbing buildings when you need to, because if you climb too high, you're not going to actually hear what they have to say, so the tailing mission is irrelevant. I wrote a few notes down of what I want to see, and now I'm kind of just spitballing based off of what I came up with, but I think that would be something that would really make tailing missions a lot more interesting to what they once were. And of course, you guys can let me know in the comments and get a discussion going based on that. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Do you have ideas of your own that I didn't mention here today? I'd love to hear it. Now, this stuff sounds great in my opinion, and if I was to create an Assassin's Creed game, maybe I would try this to see how it would work. But I think what I've said here is only good if executed correctly. As I've said before, concept can be great, but if execution isn't, then it doesn't matter about the good concept because you messed it up in the actual development. But yeah, guys, as I said, if you do agree with me or disagree with me, if you hate my idea or love my idea, let me know in a comment and let's build a community and have a discussion about this. I know a lot of you guys always have a lot of interesting takes on Assassin's Creed and the features and the gameplay and everything like that, so yeah, get them in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, press the like button and the subscribe button if you'd like to. Up to you. I love you guys, mate. The Father of Understanding, guide us. I will see you soon. Goodbye.